Am I the asshole for walking off in the middle of dinner? My friend was trying to set me, 27 male, up with one of her friends. Only reason I said yes was because she kept pushing us to go out and telling me she thinks we'd be a cute couple. So whatever, I gave in and we agreed to meet at this restaurant. Her choice, by the way. It was this Mexican restaurant and I've been there before. They make some really good enchiladas. The tables are spaced out because of COVID and obviously not a lot of seats available for people who want to eat, so we spent like 15 minutes waiting to get a table. This girl was already getting impatient and literally the second we get a table, she's talking shit to the waitress who came to ask us what we want to drink. About how they shouldn't be open if they're not able to cater to their customers. She was just being super rude to this lady for absolutely no reason. Funny thing was she's being totally nice to me. First gave her shit because she brought ice in her drink but never asked for it to have no ice, which I pointed out to her, but she didn't believe me because she knows she asked for no ice. Then again got mad because there wasn't any burgers on the menu. It's a Mexican restaurant. I told her if she wanted burgers we could have gone to a place that serves burgers. But she claimed this place did serve burgers because she's been here before. Again starts giving the waitress a hard time and I tried hard not to let it get to me up until she called the waitress a FC King dumbass and to do her job. At that point I apologized to the waitress, then told the girl we're done here. I took out my wallet to pay for the drinks, also a tip for the waitress, and told her I'm not putting up with her bullshit anymore. This girl was calling for me but I walked out the restaurant and drove off. She came in a separate car, by the way, so not like she was left stranded. My phone was blowing up. All of the messages from this girl where I'm pretty much called her worst date and other names too. Then my friend was giving me a hard time because now she's embarrassed to be around this girl knowing that I just walked off during our dinner. And she says I could have handled that better than acting like a complete jackass if I didn't like the way she was acting. At least could have been a gentleman and made it through the meal instead of humiliating her. IDK, that stuff really bothers me. My mom was a waitress and I'd be at her work all the time after school until her shift ended. Saw the way costumers treated her sometimes, so I guess it was personal for me seeing how this girl was being. Not sure if I let my emotions get the best of me and if I was in fact an ass the way I reacted. Definitely not the asshole. A very big not the asshole. That girl, she is most definitely not a woman with how childish she was acting, was disgusting and rude. That girl is not entitled to have you save her face, especially if she was being a big ah. You should be proud that you walked away, and that you didn't put up with that behavior. It expressly shows to her that it's wrong, and it shows the waiter that someone has her back against people like that. You weren't a jackass. You didn't cuss anyone out. I think you made the most mature decision you could have. Not the asshole. NTA, how people treat servers, bar staff and retail workers says a lot about people. You dodged a bullet. Not the asshole. She was way out of line from what it sounds like. Treating your server that badly is a red flag. You dodged a bullet. Ah, I see. Two-faced date. Not the asshole. Good thing you were the kind who doesn't ignore how people treat others in such a blatantly disrespectful way. Red flags, and some still think, oh well, she's nice to me so I'm special, or whatever. I guess your friend who set the date up chose to ignore those red flags for whatever reason. She got so used to ignoring that behavior that she won't understand why you did what you did. Clearly more concerned with being humiliated. You didn't make a scene. You didn't yell or cuss at anyone. You simply got up, told the girl the date is over, paid for drinks and gave a waitress a tip. How does that make you an aw? Not the asshole. Good thing this girl showed her true colors from the get-go to allow you to dodge that bullet. I would have done the same thing, bud. There is an old pearl of wisdom: if someone is nice to you and rude to the waiter, they are not a nice person. Not the exact quote, but close. You, sir, dodged a very impolite bullet. This is such an obvious not the asshole that I wonder if the story's true. Not the asshole, you're my hero, first place medal. Not the asshole. What's that old saying? If you want to know who a person truly is, see how they treat those they think are below them, not equal. Not saying anyone who works in the service industry is less than others, barista here, but she showed you who she was. If she is embarrassed about you leaving, well, then she shouldn't have acted like that. Tell your friend you are sorry, but also that you will pass on any more setups, because she obviously doesn't know the kind of person you want in your life. Not the asshole. I'm not sure why it's better to sit through something just to keep the offending party from getting embarrassed. In my opinion, she embarrassed herself with her actions. The rapid judgmental nature of the subreddit usually leads to people saying, "Throw out the whole damn friendship," or some such in situations like this. But here I tend to agree. Else tell your friend that she'd really have to be a shitty person to defend someone else publicly berating service staff at a restaurant. Not the asshole, obviously. You could have been a gentleman? Okay. Next time, throw a gauntlet at her feet and say, "Madam, you besmirch my honor. I challenge you to pistols at dawn." In all seriousness, you did the gentlemanly thing by standing up to someone being bullied, removing yourself from a situation with dignity, and explaining in a calm manner why you were doing so. If that ain't a gentleman, I don't know what is. Not the asshole. I don't trust anyone who's nice to me but rude to the waiter. Because they would treat me the same way if I were in that position. Muhammad Ali. She showed you her true colors, you were right to walk out. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I feel like your reason for leaving is justified. She was being an asshole to the waitress and you didn't want to put up with her shit. If you ask me, I'd do the same thing. Not the asshole. This girl forfeited any claim on any more of your time the minute she proved she can't treat another human being decently. The fact that she's being crappy to a server, who has almost nothing she can do but meekly accept the abuse, just makes it worse. Your reaction was measured, proportional, and frankly, necessary. People like this will never change if those around them just quietly tolerate their outrageous behavior in the name of not making a scene. Not the asshole. And thank you for walking out and letting her know her behavior was unacceptable. I don't understand people who treated service workers like that. Also, your friend sucks for defending the girl and saying you should have stayed. Definitely not the asshole, and hopefully you embarrasses your date into realizing that she can't treat people like shit. I hate people who are rude to waiters, waitresses, and I think you made the best decision. Not the asshole. You did exactly the right thing leaving. Now block the rude girl, and ask your friend why she thinks you would be such a cute couple with someone who is so ugly on the inside. Why should you behave like a gentleman when she behaves like a turd? Not the asshole. So you're not allowed to humiliate her but she's allowed to humiliate you and the waitress? Huge not the asshole. Tell the friend she is lucky you're even speaking to her after setting you up with that b. Not the asshole, and your friend should be ashamed to be friend with her, not by your departure. Was the waitress cute? Your date could have unknowingly have been a great wingman. Also props to your mom for working hard and raising you right. Obviously NTA. And weird that your other friend saw the abuse and just kept on like that was normal behavior. I could have handled it better than acting like a complete jackass. I mean, your date could have done that, too, but I guess she doesn't get flack from your friend? And you definitely don't have to endure a whole date with someone who behaves like this. Would you also have been expected to pay for it? If you don't feel comfortable. Not the asshole. Not the asshole at all. There's no way I would have wanted to share a table with such an ignorant, arrogant, rude and obnoxious waste of space like that either. You dodged a bullet big time. You didn't humiliate her, she humiliated you by treating the waitress like trash, and she calls you the jackass? Wow. You are not the ass, you're a star, especially when you apologized and tipped. Not the asshole, and good for you for standing up for the waitress, and for not enabling shitty behavior on behalf of your date. Tell your actual friend that she needs to talk with that girl about her attitude and behavior, and that she really needs to stop setting that girl up with any other men. The reason that girl is available? Because no reasonable person will put up with such awful behavior. Not the asshole. Good on you for walking out of there. Not the asshole. Fuck that. Life is too short to enable horrible behavior. I hope you shared some details with your friend to clarify, and if your friend cannot understand your motivation for leaving, maybe it's time to look at that friendship. Not the asshole. Why should you treat her better than she was treating the waitress? She was humiliated? Good. She was trying to make the waitress feel humiliated. I am glad you didn't let her continue to be a horrible beast to the waitress. Leaving was the right call. I don't know, I was with you until you mentioned that she called the waitress a FC King dumbass to her face and that your friend now claims to be embarrassed by you. Even in the unlikely event that something this over the top really went down, I can't see how you'd need internet assistance in determining if you were in the wrong. I know people are rude to waitstaff all the time, but that was significant other over the top that it kinda makes this seem dramatized. Not the asshole, thank you. It takes nice folks to call out shitty folks. The more they are called out, the better chance they will change their behavior and see others, especially people they see as equals, not putting up with mistreatment of others. Plus, as a former server, I probably would not have made it that long. I'm a waitress and thank you so much. Not the asshole all the way. You are a wonderful person and you need to cut out the friend and the girl. NTA bruh, you have spotted a rare young kitten. It's so rare to find a young one. Not the asshole, and that friend isn't really a friend. I'd ask her what dinner she wanted, burgers from a Mexican restaurant. How would that make dinner? I'd ask, friend, if X-Date told her she called the waitress a effing Doomba, as well? That would be a deal breaker. X-Date likely wanted a free meal. Not the asshole. A huge mark of character is how one treats those who provide services to them. Well done, sir, for how you kept yourself composed. As for your other friend, sounds like she's heard one side of the story only. In my opinion, you should tell her that her friend embarrassed you, and ask her if she condones that type of behavior. Not the asshole. You did the right thing. Not the asshole. What the fuck is your friend thinking defending bullshit behavior like this? This other woman is a walking, talking red flag on wheels. If I were you, I'd drop both of their toxic asses and not look back. Not the asshole, and dump the mutual friend, too. Not the asshole. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. Not the asshole, and massive props to you for not putting up with her bullshit. People who are assholes to waitstaff are the worst. Why should you be a gentleman and condone her rudeness? Not the asshole. Yikes, asshole, rude girl. She blamed at you for her actions? Oh, please. I hope you called her out for she did rude manner in public. If you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Sirius Black, Order of the Phoenix. Same goes for women, and you're obviously not the asshole, but she seems to be. Not the asshole. You dodged a bullet there. If my son did this, I would be proud of him. You stood up for your beliefs and let her know that her behavior was unacceptable. Yes, your friend is embarrassed, and she should be. Not the asshole. You did act like a gentleman. Not the asshole. You just made that server's entire life. Good job for not even tacitly accepting that sort of behavior. Not the asshole. No point staying on a date you know is a total waste of your time. So this chick gets to embarrass you with some appalling behavior, but you're not allowed to embarrass her by leaving and calling her out on her BS? Not the asshole. I would have stopped the date the first instance of her harassing the waitress. Not the asshole. In fact, as a former server, you're my hero. I can't count how many women were asshole to me in front of their IDK. What makes people do that, but you did the right thing for sure. And tell your friend that set you up that you're offended and embarrassed to be around her, given that she obviously thinks such a rude and toxic person is your type, or even keep that company herself. You didn't have to be the son of an waitress to feel uncomfortable and offended with how disrespectful she was. You did well, but I'd also tell your friend to feck themselves, as they are being an horrible person putting the blame on you. Not the asshole.